Hey everyone, welcome to the Escape Pod. I'm Sal.
I'm Josiah.
And I'm Nathan.
And this is fucking Berserk. Are you hyped?
I'm so hyped.
I'm absolutely erect right now. It is a good thing I do not have my webcam with me right now, but I am just know that, audience, that I'm excited.
That's the benefits of audio only.
Yeah.
The extremity of it, you know.
We don't have to see that, and apparently in these two episodes, we can't see Griffith's junk either, which was weird.
Or Kid Guts' junk.
Yeah, no one's junk was seen.
It was the 90s.
I don't care. I want my titties and my dicks, okay? I want my titties.
To be fair, this anime, it did actually quite push some of the bounds that were in place back then. Like, one of the big things that I've heard about in reviews was like, you know, we almost did it so that all of the blood spurts were in white because that was the thing you did in anime back then. But we were like, no, that's not true to the material. And I was like, good.
Yeah.
Good.
So, for everyone, I'm going to give you a quick rundown for the audience members. So, if you've seen our other Berserk episode talking about what we think the next anime is going to be and what we want out of it and our experiences with Berserk, we're going to be reviewing the original 97 anime, the movies, and then by the time we get to the new 2016 anime that for us came out like 5 days ago, hopefully season 1 will be either halfway done or done. So that's the goal. So if you want, everybody, all of Berserk 97 is on YouTube. If you just type in Berserk English dub, it's there. I think the subs are there too. If you want to watch them in HD, air quotes, there's a version of that as well. I don't like it, but it's fine.
We'll talk about it.
And, right now, basically all the HD does, it does make it look prettier and cleaner, but
widescreen.
It switches the aspect ratio to widescreen, but it cuts off the top and the bottom of what the 4:3 would be. So yeah, it's HD, but you're missing some of the frames, so it's kind of like
my biggest thing is just that some of their transitions between episodes don't really work for me because we'll get into it, but I think what the 97 series does best is they fucking know how to end an episode.
Oh, like, God, yeah.
The pacing of the 97 Berserk series is phenomenal. There might be an episode or two down the line where it's like, that had a bit of filler moments in there. But, on the whole, like, when episode 1 ends, like, you just feel, like, so pumped, and you're like, I want to start episode 2. Like, you're like, oh, my God. And, anytime you can see that opening or see that ending again, that's welcome, Yeah,
and I was sad I couldn't watch episode 4 because I was like, fuck, dude. I just want to keep going, but I got stuff to do.
Quick clarification for the audience. So we are skipping episode 1 of the 97 anime because that is actually a bit of an epilogue to what happens in the main part of the season. So we're going to do that last. So for those of you that want to watch along with us or rewatch along with us, if you already know, start at episode 2 and then go through the end. And
we're not going to spoil what happens at the end. We're going to treat you as if you've never seen Berserk before. Even though we're all very knowledgeable, but we're going to act dumb, I guess.
We'll skirt around some things.
Yeah.
We'll definitely
maybe point out where it foreshadows a bit of things here and there. But
we're not gonna be like, so this sets up the fact that in episode 13, Guts apparently has actually 2 left feet. It's weird.
When Guts fuses with his sword, it's a little strange. But
did you know there's actually a Soul Eater crossover, and Guts' sword is actually Puck? You see, it's weird.
I threw up in my mouth a little bit.
We're not covering Soul Eater for the foreseeable future. That's not part of this retrospective. No, but I think what we'll do, because I think what we'll do.
Yeah.
Is so, like you said, I really like the idea of maybe we use this to kind of bring people into the series because I'm all fucking about that.
Yeah.
Nathan brought me into it. I brought Sal into it.
And now we're all trying together. It's good.
Yeah. And, I've tried to bring a lot of people into it, and I kind of like that idea. Berserk's one of those things that it's not as well known as it should be. You can keep your Attack on Titans. Everyone needs to watch Berserk. Unless you're sensitive to, we'll get into it. But
drop a comment if you want us to do retrospective of Attack on Titan Junior High.
Yeah, maybe when the new season comes out in 10 years, we'll review it. But anyway,
so if you want, you can pause it now. You can go watch episode 2 and 3, then, or if you don't, that's fine.
That's fine.
We're giving you a rundown.
Yeah.
But hey, maybe they're gonna hear the rundown, like what they hear and then just watch the rest of it, you know.
Yeah.
And then if they like what they hear a lot, then they'll actually buy the series. I know everyone loves streaming anime online for free. I am all about that life myself. But in this case...
Mr. I'm going to endorse Kiss Anime on our show like all the time.
What? I would never. I don't even know what that website is. Is it a website?
Is it?
No. Kiss Anime. I just recommend watchberserk.com.
I thought you were talking about Crunchyroll.
Yeah, Crunchyroll. Yeah.
Okay, so
episode 2 is called Band of the Hawk.
And we basically open
with the most amazing. It's like, so Berserk is like a dark, gritty story about like a person's like survival and like teamwork, and it's really dark. People die, but it opens like fucking fully coolly, and I'm like, what is this like J-Rock shit? Am I right? Is it just me? Because I was watching
like seeing Bazuzo.
It was so.
Let's go back.
No, not Bazooza. I mean like the opening
title.
Right. The opening theme. Pen Pal's classic. Tell me why.
Yeah. And what the fuck?
And then in episode 3, he actually says, "Tell me why."
Wait,
and I'm like,
guys, we need to play the audience a clip of this real quick.
Oh, absolutely.
What the fuck, right?
No, it's so beautiful, and I'll tell you why.
Yeah, tell me why.
Tell me why.
I would be a complete liar if I said that I only watched that opening when I watched the show, and that I do not know all of the lyrics and sing along with it.
All of the English.
Many times.
So let's just let me go back to the beginning. So this show has one of the best like opening moments ever. We open on this artistic rendering of, spoiler, I'm not gonna say who it is, but like a hand, like this clawed hand holding this red object that comes to be known as a bayonet, and we later see Griffith with it around his neck.
Yeah.
By the way. But you see this person holding it, and then it just opens, and it's one of the most ominous.
Do we know what he says?
Yes, he says, "In this world, is the destiny of mankind controlled by some transcendental entity or law? Is it like the hand of God hovering above? At least it is true in this world that man has no control, even over his own will." And you're like,
what the fuck?
Oh my god!
It starts to be clear. It starts with that, and then you get.
Yes.
Tell me why. Tell me why.
So the first time I watched this, I was like, what am I supposed to feel right now? I'm so confused.
But by the end, you're like, oh, this song gives me so much joy and happiness.
Oh yeah.
But then again, I watched episode 1 first, and in that they actually don't have the narrator. It's just text. Yeah. So I just see the words slowly come onto the screen, and I'm like,
what?
This is really fucking creepy. And then just. And I'm like, oh.
See, like the Nathan and I have talked about this at length. That the opening is
at length.
We've talked about it at length because like the opening completely clashes with the monologue at the beginning.
It clashes with the everything, but it's so amazing.
But it's so good because like I feel like that theme like really encapsulates kind of like how the golden age is about like the highest moment of these characters' lives.
I kind of want to I want to do an edit where I take the Game of Thrones opening but put that song over it.
You should. And like the song, it deceives you because the open, like anybody can make like shallow anime that tries to be deep, and so like with the yes. So if you watch the opening monologue, you're like, oh, that was dark. And then you get the theme opening and you're like, oh, this is just going to be some fun 90s anime. And then you go into the episode and you're like, oh man, this is really focused on characters. But then in the back of your mind, anytime something really horrifying happens, like you remember in this world, and then it all kind of ties it together. So yes, the English it's not proper English, but it's so enjoyable, and it's just part of the charm of it.
I legit thought it was the pillows for a good 5 seconds.
That's really, yeah.
It's crazy. But yeah, so we open the episode.
It's the middle of the action.
Yeah, there's like a battle going on. You're like, whoa, what the fuck? And there's this dude called Bazuzo who, as he's like kind of standing there mocking everybody, all the soldiers who have their mouths covered up to save budget are just expositing who this guy is. And they're like, he's the most badass super dude ever. He's the 30-man slayer. He's the bear.
I heard he wrestled a bear.
Yeah.
Oh.
And then, like, this little kid comes out, and everyone's like, huh, look at this little wimp. You can't take on Bazuzo. He's too strong.
And he's got a sword that's like 5 times the size of a Zweihander, which is like the largest broadsword that was ever used in history. But yeah, so he's got this huge-ass sword, and everyone's like, this guy's all talk. This can't work at all.
This fucking kid thinks he know the world, but he don't.
He don't.
This shit.
Yeah, he's like, got him. And then so
he's just wailing on him.
Yeah, he just starts like assaulting Bazuzo's defense, and they're like, oh, such speed. And then Bazuzo just gets pissed eventually and swings the axe, and then this kid just blocks it, and it pierces through the axe a bit.
Yeah, and the axe kind of like cracks a bit. And Bazuzo's like, oh, this fucking brat, I'm going to teach you a thing or two about the world. I'm the bear slaughterer.
And then he swings, and then it collides with the kid's helmet. And it, like, as it hits the helmet, okay, let me just say this right now, especially if you're going to watch the show. The show is a 90s anime with a limited budget. Like,
yes, it is.
It has such a limited budget, but I'm going to say it again and again. What they do with the budget is pretty phenomenal. Like, they use still watercolors, and they do use some speed lines every once in a while, but like when the axe like hits his helmet and it like separates so it just goes around his head and doesn't cut his head off. Oh, the animation it's just really nice.
Yeah, and they do cool like still frames, and it's really well drawn, and it's like kind of like using like intense moments, and you're like, wow, that's fucking rad.
Yeah, that was one of the things that I noticed. I had watched other animes that had done that. Normally it's like the end of the episode where it's like, still shot, and it's like, well, you ran out of budget, whatever. This was probably the first anime that I saw that did that made me go, wow, that looks phenomenal. And I couldn't even complain that it was a still image, because I was like, no, that's a painting. That is artwork right there, and I appreciate it greatly.
Yeah, it's I don't mind budget saving. I get it. Like,
no,
you know,
that is a topic that I will bring up again when discussing certain other Berserk adaptations.
Yes.
So. But basically, if you're waiting for us to bitch about things, just I will just say right off the bat, I understand when an anime is confined by its budget. So some things I'll let slide, and if they're able to creatively work around their budget, fucking applause. I'm always amazed by that.
Like, I get if you need to save some money by giving all the soldiers, the random ass soldiers, helmets so you can't see their faces, so you don't have to animate the random soldier 25 screaming "Bazuzo's the bear slaughterer." Like, it's fine.
And I think the thing is that what I think we'd all agree to this is that if you need to save money on stuff, keep the pacing up, but have these little creative go-arounds, but don't like draw every scene to a crawl where it takes like 10 minutes to go through one dialogue scene. Like anything but that. As long as you keep the pacing up, I'm gonna be fine with you not showing mouth animations, you know?
And I'd say pacing's pretty good in Berserk. Like, so far, at least. It's pretty good.
Yeah. So the kid just slams his greatsword into Bazuzo's side, just cleaves into him.
And then Bazuzo like spurts out blood, and he falls over, and he's like, mercy! And then Guts fucking chops his head in half. Down the middle in half.
Yeah, we don't see it, but...
We do see it in the movie adaptation, but that's another day. Because it's edgier, and they have not the 90s.
Yeah. I like it. I like movies. Whatever, but yeah, I do think that it's really interesting. Like, the anime knows when to be brutal and like show what it needs to show, but it's also very good at being tasteful and like, you know, the important thing isn't necessarily seeing the head being cleaved in two. The important thing is seeing the determination in Guts' face and the unflinchingness when he does it, and the shock it creates to everyone else. And I think they always are very good at showing the impact that war and fighting and violence and other terrible things have on the characters.
Yeah, I think we'll say this, I'll be saying this a lot in the future, but the 97 anime, to repeat what you said, it knows when to be tasteful. Let me put it that way. I'll say that subtly.
So after Guts fucking wrecks this dude, we cut over and we see some guys up on like a balcony type thing. And they're all like, whoa, that guy's pretty cool, but he'd be no match for our leader Griffith, who's sitting there with his like hawk helmet and his weird red egg thing around his neck.
Mm-hmm.
What's
and his
that?
eyes just intently focused on Guts while everyone is like saying stuff, and he's like, I don't even care.
Yeah.
It's like, wow.
I also do like the line,
evacuate this fort.
All right, we had a good run. 3 months isn't bad when no one thought we would last 3 days.
Yeah, and so basically you get the impression that these guys were mercenaries for the Bezuzo's dudes.
Yeah.
And basically since Bezuzo's dead, they're like, well, shit, we won.
Mm-hmm.
And so then there's a scene outside where this nobleman is paying Guts, and he's all like, oh yeah, yo, you can work for us. We give you a nice wage and everything. And then the guy like touches him, and then Guts is like, dude, don't you fucking dare.
Wait a minute. I will secure your position and income as well. You won't need to put yourself in danger as a grunt during the war.
Don't touch me! Don't you ever touch me.
an important character moment.
Yes, it's really
Definitely.
important that this guy touched him, and Guts was like, don't do that.
Yeah, nobody does that.
Yeah.
Yeah, he makes it very clear that he doesn't want to be connected to anyone. He doesn't want anyone in authority over him or, you know,
Yeah.
forcing him to do anything. Hint, hint.
We'll
But
talk about that at the end of the episode.
yeah, exactly.
But so Guts leaves with his money. He's walking down this dirt road, and then we see this dude named Corcus who's a total fucking ass clown, and he's like, hey, that's the guy who killed Bezuzo, the guy that like no one could defeat. Let's rob him.
Yeah.
And it's like, and then they go to Griffith, and they're like, yo, Griffith, can we do this? And Griffith's like, I don't care. Like,
As you wish.
if you wanna go die, like, I don't give a shit. You know, they're running off, and they're all like, we're gonna kick his ass, and then Guts kicks their ass, and fucking just slaughters them.
Corcus, you know, sees all of his dudes getting slaughtered. Who he's the one that said, "Let's go do this," and then he immediately like has all of them go, "You go first, and you take him, and you take it." Like he's just kind of throwing people at Guts, and they're getting mowed down. And then he immediately goes, "Oh shit, this was a terrible idea." And Casca, who's been watching this woman, she's kind of looking over and she's just like, "Yeah, you guys were dumbasses. You shouldn't have done that." And then you hear Griffith say, "Hey, you should go help them." She's like, "Why? They're dumbasses." And then he just looks at her. She goes, "Fine." So she goes and takes on
piercing blue eyes,
the eyes of a hawk.
Oh my god!
I mean, to be joking aside, the way they build up Griffith for the end of the episode reveal is pretty fantastically done.
Yeah, I would agree.
Yes, it's very nice.
So Casca rides out, shoots Guts in the arm with a crossbow, which was kind of a cheap move, in my opinion.
Something a woman would do, am I right?
Right, crossbow is a coward's weapon.
Yeah,
and
I
the
love
weapon
women.
of a woman.
I want to put that on the table. I love women.
Wait, doesn't Guts use a crossbow? Oh, never
Oh
mind.
my god!
Spoilers.
Yeah, right.
But no, so she comes and all the guys are just like, "Oh, thank God we're saved. Casca's gonna kick his ass," and Guts kind of goes,
A woman?
A woman.
"A woman." And so he knocks her off her horse. She was on a horse, but now she's not. So he dehorses her, and then they duel. And once again, Guts very furiously driving his opponent back, very much similar to how he took on Bezuzo. And they're all just like, "Holy shit, this guy is a monster. What do we do?" And then Casca trips because, you know, unpredictable footing. And she's like, "Oh shit, I'm going to die." You see Guts raise his freaking sword ready to Bezuzo the shit out of her, and then all of a sudden a spear lands right at his feet, and we see the hawk ride up on his steed, and he's like, "Hey, will you put up your sword?" And Guts, not saying anything, I don't think, just kind of basically goes, "No, fuck off." And we see him once again charge towards Griffith, and once again doing his signature slashdown move, but Griffith is able to block it with a saber with one hand.
Yep.
And then slide it to the side and stab him right in like the armpit area.
Yeah, like right above the heart. Then he just collapses, and they're like, "Holy shit! They took this guy. He took down Guts with one blow, and then holy shit!"
Like, no, how stupid could he be to even take on Griffith? He's the most powerfulest ever.
Yeah, and earlier they were like, "Oh, nobody can beat Casca except Griffith," but then unresolved.
There's a new dog in town.
And then so he collapses. Well, actually, this is something that's not in the movies, but he collapses and then he gets up again, and then he's about to swing again, and then he just has so much blood loss he just falls.
But also during that scene, the music.
Yes.
Yes,
Okay. Go ahead, Nathan.
Yeah.
Okay, so very.
Is this your
very,
thing? Is this like your?
Yes, this is one of my favorite things about 97 Berserk and about basically all other Berserk animated things that have come out. So the composer for the 1997 Berserk anime is none other than Suzumu Hirasawa, who's very well-known, kind of very unique alternative musician. And that in and by itself is really cool. But what makes it even cooler is the fact that Kentaro Miura, the mangaka, the author and artist of Berserk, is a huge fan of Hirasawa. And he has said that he actually listens to his music while writing and drawing Berserk.
Oh, that's so adorable.
And so that's the reason, like, it's this cool circle. Like, Hirasawa's music helps inspire Miura, and Miura's work inspires new music for Hirasawa. And he's actually come back to, like, every other Berserk project. He did a song for the trilogy. He composed
for the games.
For the first game. He only did 2 songs for the second game.
Oh, okay.
And then he's doing an insert song for the newest series. But I just like the soundtrack of original Berserk is so unique, and it's so fitting for it, like in every way. And I absolutely love that music. But yeah, so that's my little tidbit, little anecdote about the music.
We get Griffith's theme here, and it's very like ethereal and mysterious. On the soundtrack, this is the track known as Baylet. And, well, yes, but, you know, as Griffith's theme, it's very fitting, it's very light and melodic and played on a harp.
But also very mysterious.
Oh, yeah, it just, like, that, if there's a theme, if there's 2 themes that kind of encapsulate, besides, like, the opening and ending, it's the kind of light, kind of, I don't know how to say it, it's like,
it's kind of like,
and the other one is Guts' theme, which is this kind of one-woman choir singing this kind of...
Along with piano.
Yeah, this kind of soulful, like, longing kind of song. Like, just the score... There's 1 or 2 tracks on the soundtrack that are kind of just, you know, they're okay. But, like, on the whole, like, oh, I just love the music so much.
And then Guts gently falls over, and then he has a creepy-ass fucking rape dream.
Yeah, so what did you think of this, Sal?
It's obviously, I mean, maybe it's because I already know, but it is a metaphor for him being raped as a kid.
Yeah, and that Gambino, you know, just let it happen.
Yeah, and then he lets the big hulking thing take over him. And do they really touch on it in the anime?
They don't touch on the actual rape.
Do you guys want to quickly go over what happens to Guts when he was a kid? This would be manga spoilers, but
it's so in the Golden Age arc, like we start out with, well, we'll go into this later, I assume, but Guts is born and he's alone in the world. He basically is picked up by Gambino's group of mercenaries. He grows up with them and
picked up by his wife, specifically Gambino's wife.
Yeah, who's kind of simple in the head and oh god, the parallels. Never mind.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, never mind. Yeah.
It's fucked. Anyway, so then basically she dies and Gambino is like, Guts, you should have been the one that died. That kind of thing. And so basically Gambino, he like trains him. He's the one who makes him train with such a larger sword that as he grows up, he's accustomed to using a sword that's like way bigger than him. So that's why he now uses this ginormous thing. And basically what goes down is Gambino, like the cocksucker, basically gives this like big, like scary looking mercenary. He basically says like, yeah, so Guts will be in the tent tonight.
Give me some money.
And the guy gives him money. And then in the manga, you know, we're not going to see it in the show, and you only kind of see it in the movies. In the manga, it's very graphic. Like you see this guy like raping Guts, like straight up, like just horrifying. It's very brutal, but all the while,
like telling him specifically that Gambino allowed this, because Guts obviously, you know, while this is happening, is like, Gambino, help me, and he's like, why would he help you? He sold you to me for the night, and I was like, oh, holy shit.
Yeah,
which is kind of why Guts didn't want to be touched earlier.
Oh yes, yeah. And so like they use a dream to imply it.
Yeah, they don't say the words Guts was raped, but they heavily imply that happened.
And Gambino reveals that, hey, I can't help you. You killed me, remember?
Yeah, which he does after the fact.
Yes, he does it after that whole thing, and so the nightmare happens, and then
which is fucking it's terrifying.
Oh yeah,
like the thing's over him, and then these skeleton things are coming up from the ground, and it's
you should have died. You should have died. And then as the demon grabs him, or the evil arm, basically he's like, don't touch me, don't touch me, don't touch me. And then he is like, what? And then he senses someone else is like next to him as he's sleeping, and it's Casca. And he's like, black eyes. So basically he wakes up and Casca's not there, and he gets up and goes outside, and he's like, what the fuck? Who are all these young looking?
And it's very quiet.
People? Oh yeah, it's very serene this nightmare fuel.
I thought the music just like went down, because I checked the volume and I was like, no, it's the volume's up. I thought I muted
just more subdued, yeah. And then so he sees Casca like shouting at Griffith a little bit.
Then she comes up and punches him in the fucking wound.
What was it she said to him? She said like
Good morning. If I had my way, you'd have been left to die out there.
Oh, fuck, I can't remember. She's like so fucking like bitchy to him. I love it.
Something about how she's lucky that Griffith wanted you alive or something like that.
Yeah, or I'd have left you for dead out there.
Yeah, exactly.
And isn't that when he talks to Judo?
Yeah, he
meets Judo for a second, and he describes how Casca lay with him for 2 nights because he was cold, and it was on Griffith's orders.
Because it was a woman's duty.
She still can't get over that Griffith gave her the order to lie down by you for 2 whole days. You were shivering. You had lost so much blood after the fight that your body needed to be warmed. He told her it's a woman's duty to warm a man.
No, I got it though. It's medieval times. That's the mindset.
Exactly. It's meant. I think it's more than anything. I think the way the voice actor for Judo plays it. I don't know if it's different in the Japanese. We're watching in the dubbed, by the way. So,
yeah, we're dubbing, not subbing. Yo,
I'm sure that'll bring a bunch of fun little comments down below.
Fuck you. I like Kevin T. Collins. All right.
Mark Dreisen is guts. I don't care what anyone says. But the way Judo's voice actor says it. Like he said, how Griffith says it's a woman's duty to keep a man. It sounds like there's a little bit of mild disgust there. Like I don't think it's necessarily I don't think they're necessarily saying it as like a matter of fact.
Yeah.
It was very clearly this was intended to seem off and a little bit rude.
Judo's a bit of a kidder.
Judo's great. I love Judo.
I'm really happy, by the way, that since in the movies it's the plot of the show but condensed into 3 films.
Yeah.
I'm so happy to see more of the Band of the Hawk like side characters like Judo and Ricket and Pippin.
The character development over the series is good. I think you're really gonna like it.
I'm so happy because I always wanted more of Judo because I always thought he was like not as built up as well in the movies.
No, he's got several very good scenes that I think you'll appreciate. I know I did. Good. So.
Yes, yeah. So in this scene, we meet all of our Band of the Hawk people. We already met Corcus and Casca and Griffith, but now we meet Judo, who's like a knife thrower, Ricket, who's like a little kid, and then Pippin, who is basically our Hodor kind of character.
Did you know? I'm gonna say this right now. Did you know Pippin is literally like a more buff, like slightly larger and more chubbier version of Kentaro Miura?
Yes, I've heard that.
They look so similar.
Not about that.
Weird.
Oh, it's great.
Yeah, it's just funny.
What happens next, guys? I forget. What's going on?
So we get Guts and Griffith walking through the camp, and everyone's greeting Griffith, and they're like, "Oh, hey Griffith, you're awesome. Can I suck your dick?"
And they're like, "Band of the Hawk, Band of the Hawk, the Band of the Hawk."
And so Guts, of course, is like, "Huh? So this is the Band of the Hawk,
known as death on the battlefield.
The last mercenaries you ever want to meet." Exposition, yeah. And then when they come to this romantic little hillside away from everyone else, where Griffith is like, "Hey, you're pretty great. You're pretty handy in fights and such. You should join us." And Guts, of course.
And Griffith's like, "I want you, Guts. I want you to be with me." And then Guts is like, "What are you, fucking gay?"
Yeah, it's pretty much that. He's like, "Oh, so you swing that way."
Yeah, wasn't it in the manga, doesn't he say, "What are you, a homo?" or something?
Yeah, in some translations, yeah.
Yeah, which one of the best things I like about that is the fact that Griffith does not respond like he doesn't immediately go no or something like that. He just kind of smiles and looks away, which
I don't want I don't want to like make this a whole discussion now because it's such an interesting part of the relationship and part of the whole story. But personally, I think it's ambiguous enough where like Griffith's interest in Guts can be everything and yet not everything. Like it could be a bunch of things or just like one thing, and it's up to your own interpretation, I think. And I think that's intentional. That he definitely views him as an equal and he respects him. That much is clear, and he thinks of him as a friend. Whether he is romantically or sexually attracted to him, that's kind of for you to decide, even though they definitely play it up a little bit.
But they do, Casca specifically points out how is very shocked at Griffith's interest in Guts because he doesn't have that in other people. Like, no one else has he talked to like that. No one else has he shown that kind of a special interest. Most people that are in the Band of the Hawk kind of go, "Oh, Griffith, you're great. Can I join?" And then he's like, "Yeah, sure." But Guts is like the first one, I think, that he specifically says.
If you want my opinion, Griffith does love Guts, but
yeah, absolutely.
I don't know if he sexually wants him, and it can either he does or he doesn't. It doesn't really matter to me. The point is that he does love him, and I think that's completely fascinating. And it's their relationship, and I guess if you add Casca into as the trio, is what drives the whole show.
Oh yeah, totally. Like I don't think it's sexual, but there is a certain like tension there, I think.
Yeah,
obviously.
Because I think
with Griffith saying, "I want you, you're mine."
Yes, just the way that the way that Griffith feels about Guts is definitely very different from how he feels about everyone else. Even if he doesn't always want to admit it, there's definitely something more there than just respect and admiration.
Yeah, and I think there'll be some episodes coming up where we talk about his relationship with Casca and kind of how he brought her into the fold and whatnot. But anyway, so basically, Griffith says like, "Yeah, let's be friends," and then Guts is like, "You're a friend after you stabbed me?" And then I love how Mark Dreisen gets into this and how he gets up in his fucking face.
Lousy son of a bitch! Treating me as some kind of friend after you stabbed me! You started the fight. I'm not gonna forget about what you did to me. And I don't expect you'll soon forget about what I did either.
It's so great. And basically he's like, "I'll put a hole in your chest the size of this one when I'm done." Like he basically says, I'm gonna beat you and take my freedom. And Griffith's like, "But what if I win?" And then basically they make like a wager, like whoever wins gets to do whatever they want with the other one.
Yeah.
And then I love how Griffith, the classic line, I know we quote it a lot.
"No matter what, I will have what I want."
Yeah, in this version, it's definitely more like chipper and, this is going to be fun.
Yeah, like I love how he draws his sword and he's like, "I rather enjoy settling things by force." And it's like, wait, what?
He's going to kill you.
And that was episode 2.
But like I said, it ends with that amazing
freeze frame.
Watercolor freeze frame.
It's so beautiful.
And so then episode 3 begins exactly where episode 2 left off, and they're just fighting.
And then tell me what you want. Put your glasses on. Nothing will be wrong.
It's too late. It's too late.
See, that's the funny thing is later on, like when you like look at the later episodes and you're like, "It's too late. It's too," and you're like, "Oh my god."
Oh my god.
So basically, the thing is, from now on, anytime like it's like, hey, the mantra of "let's chill out," it's "put your glasses on. Nothing will be wrong."
I fucking hate you guys.
But anyway, so it goes in there basically fighting. Griffith's like slicing him up. Like he's just so fast. And
Griffith is so fast.
Griffith is so fast. Guts is strong, but he is so fast.
He even like has to like stagger a bit because he's been fucked up so much. And Griffith actually says, "We can always suspend this for later when you're feeling better," which just pisses off Guts so more. Actually, I would say, I don't know about you guys, but I think that actually makes him go a little berserk.
Oh my god.
Yes, and, you are right. You are right.
But no, then the fight just intensifies. And
Corcus comes up and he tries to interfere, and Casca's like,
"Bitch!"
pulls a sword to him and is like, "Bitch."
Also, the perspective on that is really weird. I thought she was laying down at first.
Maybe she was.
No, like she's standing there, she has her hands to the side, and then I thought she was laying down, and then all of a sudden they run into frame and they're like standing, so the perspective was just kind of off for a second. But
that's one of the funny things. So in the movies, I'm just going to touch on this briefly. In the Japanese dub, they bring in different voice actors, but in the dub, they bring in the original English voice cast, with the exception of Corcus, whose voice actor was retired at this point, and so they brought
he's
in.
Not dead.
No, I don't think he's dead. He's old as fuck. But,
oh wait,
I apologize because I said he died in an earlier podcast.
Yeah, whoops.
Maybe. Oh well, you might be right, and I might be the insensitive bastard because I just called him old as fuck.
Well, he is retired, just in a different sense.
Oh my god!
But they bring in the voice actor who took over for him on other projects, who took over for him in Naruto and Bleach and a bunch of other stuff he was involved in. And I personally like that voice actor a little bit more.
Yeah, I'd say so. No offense to old Corcus, because
this Corcus, I don't know, his voice a little.
He's kind of the cliched I'm a '90s anime actor voice, but
exactly. Like I think it's in this part when he's like wanting to rush in and Casca draws her sword and he's like, Griffith said no one's to interfere, and then Corcus just like, all right, don't kill me, and I was like,
it was DBZ, yeah.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, that's one of the few lines that made me go, "Oh right, this is an early '90s English dub of a show."
No offense to old Corcus, but I think you and I both like the newer one a bit more.
I did too. I'd say.
Yeah. But anyway, they're fighting still.
Yeah, we're fighting, and shit.
Oh,
I'm so sorry.
Oh, God bless you.
I'm gonna cut that out.
Or demons bless you.
Is there really a difference?
Guys. So also kind of funny, there's a scene where Guts like stabs down and then Griffith like jumps up onto his big ass sword.
I love it.
And balances on it.
Yeah.
I'm so glad they've recreated that perfectly again in the movies.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, I love it. The shot in the anime. He's like, "Hey, you did pretty great, but you can't move your sword now. So if you'd like, now would be a good time to surrender."
And then Guts is like, you talk a lot. I'll show you what mounts are used for in battle. Then fucking bites his sword and like makes him tip
and pushes
over.
him off a cliff.
Off a fucking cliff, and they both go tumbling, and they're fine.
Yeah, and then Guts gets on top of him, beats the shit out of him, fisticuff style.
How do you like the taste of your own blood?
Yeah, Guts gets on top of him.
Yeah, he's like, didn't want to show you up in front of your men.
Yeah, and then Griffith basically like
in like one swift move pins Guts to the ground, like has his arm on like a lock, and is like,
admit defeat or I'll be forced to dislocate your shoulder. Either way makes no difference to me.
And Guts is like, you bastard, and Griffith just
and I love how the music just cuts out.
Yes, as soon as Griffith pops it, the music just goes quiet.
And you're like, oh, he lost.
Yeah, that was. I think everyone in the Band of the Hawk like cheer, and then
like, I love it because Corey just comes up and goes like, "Oh man, you suck." And it's like, oh my
what
God.
A phony! What a nerd! Look at this douche! And then Griffith's like, Guts is joining us, by the way.
Yeah.
Before that, Griffith like cups Guts' face and is like,
and so. Now you belong to me, Guts.
Yeah, I will say that it's probably because the adaptation is less compressed, but Griffith is a lot more subtle, I'll say. Not that I don't like the way they did in the movies. I love the way they did in the movies, but since that's more compressed, they got to kind of... Or maybe that's just Kevin T. Collins evolving his performance, which definitely happens with a lot of the actors. But the way he says it, again, it's kind of like similar to what he said earlier with "I will have what I want." It's like, Guts belongs to him, but he's a nice guy.
Dude, Griffith is amazing. I don't even know you're fucking. But
Griffith
anyway,
did nothing wrong.
Dude, well, Griffith lets him join his like group even after he kicked his ass like twice
and killed 2 of his men.
Well, that's fine, but. It had to come, and they followed Corcus. I mean,
yeah.
So that is something that he brings up before their duel, because Guts specifically says, "You think I forgive you for like almost killing me? And I imagine you don't forgive me for what I've done." And
Griffith looks hurt. He's like, "Oh."
He's like, "Oh, but I want to be friends."
Dude, accept my friend request. But then we smash cut to 2 fucking noblemen of Midland talking about the Band of the Hawk.
Yeah,
which is a little jarring because I was like, wait, who the fuck are these jokers?
And you're like, I don't know, random noblemen. Yeah.
Yeah. Did they ever come back, or are they just there?
I think they. Nathan, correct me if I'm wrong, but are they part of the?
I think some of them are. There's one dude who has like the black hair and black beard who is like saying, "Oh wow, these guys are really impressive. They've really proven themselves." Who is not involved.
Okay.
And we see him pop up again later, a bit more significantly.
Okay, cool. So yeah, they do come back.
Cool. Okay. But yeah, then so they just quickly are like, "Wow, if the Band of the Hawk rise up in power, they'll outshine us, and then the whole like monarchy will be toppled because these fucking mercenaries like rose the ranks." How dare they be so good at their job?
Well, it's just showing the paranoia that if you have enough power, it doesn't matter if you're of noble birth, they can take what they want.
Yeah. And I will have what I want.
Yes. Yeah. And so they're talking, and I believe, doesn't it cut to Guts in his tent?
Yeah.
And then, Corcus is trying to get some guys.
Corcus has a band of, so I need to talk about this. Corcus has a band of people with him, and they're like, we're gonna go kill Guts. And they're talking super loud. And then it smash cuts inside Guts' tent as he's like wide awake listening to them. And then Corcus is like,
plus, he's injured and can't possibly lift that sword.
As it smash cuts to Guts picking up his sword.
Yeah.
And then, Casca swoops in like a badass and is like, bitch, don't you even try.
Yeah, I like that scene a lot.
He's still far above you, even for his wounds, and it's like, oh shit. Yeah.
And then I love when Corcus is like,
I see what's going on here. You lay down beside him for the past 2 nights. No wonder you have feelings for him.
If you say anything like that ever again, I'll chop your head off.
And I'm like, whoa, hey, oh, hey.
I love it though.
This isn't a love story.
Casca is such a boss. Like
Tsundere.
Like Casca is bae. Like I don't even fucking care.
Yeah.
All right.
This was. I was gonna bring this up when talking about dubs versus subs because I think that I love anime, but I think the anime community is toxic. Just gonna drop that bomb right now.
Anime was a mistake.
Anime was a mistake. Hayao Miyazaki. but I think I was gonna say one of the things that most anime fans just talk about is, oh, my waifu is the best. I'm gonna say right now, you're all wrong. Casca is best waifu.
Casca's best girl. Fuck off, everybody.
Yeah.
Go home.
You're all wrong.
The conversation's over. You're welcome. Dude,
I'm glad we enlightened you.
I can't believe that on episode 1 of this watch we've already solved the waifu crisis.
Well, it is. You're welcome, everyone.
We're making headway here, You
can all move on with your lives and just enjoy the series.
Yeah, just sit down and
be sure to give to the Patreon and
fuck.
Like, comment, and subscribe. How much we changed your life.
Tell me why. So anyway, so they Casca drives him out, and then Guts comes out and says, "What does he say?" He says like, basically, thanks.
Yeah.
And then she's like, "Fuck off! I'm only doing this on Griffith's orders." And walks away.
Like setting up how these two do not like each other at all. And then I believe it transfers over to them getting ready for a raid
for their first battle.
Yeah,
that's the episode title.
I hate it. So we have everyone getting set up. Griffith breaking down their mission.
Yeah, so the opponents have their headquarters on the hill with 2,000 soldiers at their command. The mission is to burn the supplies to get to the back of the hill. Since all the soldiers will be massed at the front in case of a night attack, the Hawks will advance from the river, attack from the rear, and then drive through the masses to the gates of the castle again. Yeah, I read that from the wiki.
Yeah.
Oh,
exactly.
okay.
I was like, holy shit.
Yeah, that was well done.
I mean, from my mind, what?
Yeah, but I do like how Guts outlines how much of a genius Griffith is with his tactics.
Yeah, like that's made very apparent, and then I like how at the end of it we have the leader of the rear guard. I think is where he puts. He's like, the leader of the rear guard will be Guts if you accept it. Everyone's like, holy
everyone
shit.
does the stereotypical like murmur, whisper.
Oh! Exclamation point!
Whoa!
Egad.
And Guts is like, fuck it, I'll do it. I want to see this succeed.
He does do that, but he says,
"Can you manage it?"
Is that an order?
It is.
That's right.
Yeah, he's like, oh yeah,
it is.
Bitch, you better do your job. You're getting ass whooping.
And then we get this great. I gotta say, I love all of the extras, voice actors.
Oh, they're so beautiful. They're so
God bless them.
All of them.
They're so great. You have these two soldiers sitting at a campfire, just like, oh man, why we gotta do this shit? This is like the worst job in the army.
This is like the creepiest forest, man. Why gotta do this tonight of all nights?
It's freezing out here. It must be my lot in life. How did I end up with guard duty on such a creepy night? I want to go home.
It's not like anyone's gonna come, and then they look and they're like, wait, what the fuck is that? And then we get to hear Forces by Suzumu Hirazawa as we see the Band of the Hawk triumphantly dash into this place and wreck everyone's shit flawlessly, because Griffith is a genius. And has my favorite line of the episode. I mentioned this earlier, but you see this, like, it's this really hardcore, like, serious, like, raiding party, and everyone's, like, freaking out and in a battle. But then there's just this one guy standing in this flaming building, and he's like, oh no, they set fire to the ammunition, and then he blows up.
Oh no! They set fire to the ammunition!
And I
was like, hilarious.
That's kind of the best thing ever.
I was like, oh my god. So they wreck shit. They do a very good job. Then as they're escaping through the woods, Guts saves Ricket, thankfully, because Ricket's a boss.
Yes.
Which I didn't notice this. I had to get this pointed out to me, but apparently in the dub they slightly flubbed his name, because apparently it's Rickert.
Yeah, it's
but
Rickert.
They call him Ricket. I don't know if they corrected that in the movies or if they just rolled with it.
I kind of saw it as just an accented way of saying, I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it's not a big deal. Like, I didn't notice. Like, again, I've read this on, like, one of the trivia, and I was like, oh, yeah. Huh, I never noticed that. So
it's like Casca and Casca, you know?
Oh my god, no. I hate Casca. I hate Casca so bad. Like, that is almost as offensive to me as people saying Gatsu.
It is not nearly that bad.
Which I want to point this out for those of you that are new to the series or reading translation of the manga, or if you're just really, really pretentious weebos. It is official that his name is Guts.
Yes.
Kentaro Miura has said his name is Guts. Gatsu came from a mistranslation of kanji, because kanji is hard as fuck to decipher into English sometimes, especially regarding names. So it's not Gatsu, it's not Gutsu, it's not whatever the fuck other people say.
It's Guts.
Like blood and guts.
You sit your weeaboo asses down and say things like a normal person.
Shit, man.
You ain't from Japan.
You don't even know how to spoken.
I like that motherfucker. Shit.
Fuck, man. Anyway.
So basically, Guts is like,
dope ass shit, man.
He's going through. He's killing people. Everyone gets through, and then Griffith gets there, and this is the scene where I'm just like, fuck you guys. Because the nobles are like, nice job, Griffith. And Griffith's like, forgive me, the battle is still going on. Oh, the insolence walking away from us. And I'm just like, wow.
How dare you do the job we paid you to do?
The battle is not yet over. Excuse me.
Of all of what? Insolence!
Yeah, I'm like, how small are your dicks, guys? Like, seriously.
Oh!
Like,
wrecked.
Back up. And then, so Griffith goes back because he's like, I'm not letting Guts die. And then it cuts back.
Yeah, he meets with everyone, and then Rickert comes and tells him.
Yeah.
He's like, hey, Guts saved me, but he's all along facing, like, everyone. And he's like, oh, shit.
Then Griffith runs back, and Guts is like, his horses got shot in the leg, so he's on the ground, like, fighting. And then, like, all of a sudden, like, arrows fly in, gets everyone in the neck. Griffith picks up Guts, flops him on his back, very majestically and sensually. I mean, what?
Well, I do like no, but I do like how Guts is like, what are you doing here? And then Griffith basically tells him to shut up.
Yeah, come on, tell me why.
Yeah, tell me why. And then
come on.
So they get back, and then all the guys are like, we're totally gonna hunt him down and kill him, and then they like arrive to face like 10 cannons, and it
was fucking overkill.
No, it was perfect.
It's called Berserk.
Wait a minute. We have to back up. We have to...
Okay.
So Corcus has a duck beak helmet.
He does? How did I not notice that?
That shit was so amazing.
Yeah, and, I kind of love his helmet so much.
Also, I didn't know. So whenever they first appear and it's like they surprise the guards, I wrote down surprise disco music. It's what it sounded like. It was like it was so like not battle music, but I loved it.
No. Forces is totally about like Forces is like one of those epic tracks that's like shit's gonna get wrecked. Like
I like it, but it sounds like disco music, man.
Yeah,
I don't know what you're hearing that's making you think disco music.
I hear the sound of a booty popping in the club, Josiah. That's what I hear.
I will say that's That's one of my favorite things is in the Sword of the Berserk game that takes place way, way later, the intro song, also written, again, that game is composed entirely by the same composer, but the opening of that game is called Forces 2, and it's much different in tone. I might like it a little bit more. It's very close. Like they're both great, but
Forces has a lot of remixes. Like there's the God Hand remix. Oh, spoiler alert.
What?
No one knows what that is, so it's okay.
Yeah.
It's the hand of God hovering above.
Hovering above. At least it is true.
Yeah, we set that up already. You're fine.
They're victorious.
So then there's a party going on, and Guts is being angsty and sitting alone, and then Rick, fucking, I don't care.
Whatever you want.
See what feels right.
Yeah.
All right. Ricardo, Judo, and Pippin come up, and they're like, "Yo, Guts, come on, man, join the party." And Ricky's like, "I love you, man. Come on, let's chill." And then Guts is like, "Fuck you." And then Pippin picks him up and just drags him into the party.
Which, of course, triggers Guts crazily. And then he punches him in the face.
No. He elbows him. Like,
that's right.
Yeah, he hits up and hits him right in the fucking face, and then Pippin just blood goes down. He just says like, what does he say? He says like
he brings up a mug and he's like, have a drink. Yeah, it's like, oh, this is a gentle giant. I appreciate this.
They all chill and drink, and their friendship's happening. And
I love the look that Griffith gives Guts. He's just like smiling and happy, and Guts kind of like looks, and then he just goes looks away.
Drinks his tea, and then it pans up to the sky, and we get the. We didn't talk about it before, but what do you guys think about the ending song, "Waiting So Long"?
Looking back, the morning comes to find your face in your grass.
I like it.
It's really nice.
It still doesn't fit, but I like it.
No. I think it fits really well because it's like really somber.
Mm-hmm.
It what I like about it is that you get the opening, which is like the fun, and then the ending. Like at the end of some episodes, it just is kind of haunting. Is not the right word, but it's just kind of like oh. And it's partially because I know what's going to happen, but it just fills me with a sense of like, oh,
yeah,
it's not going to last.
I think it's like it's a really cool note to end on, whether the episode ends really depressingly or if it ends like really joyfully. It's like this very interesting detox, bring you down moment, either like in a calming way or in a like I fucking hate my life kind of way.
Exactly. I like that song. But
I do too.
And the English isn't as bad.
Yeah, I don't know if I've ever like sat down and like studiously paid attention to what they're saying in that song, to be honest. Like I've definitely listened to it quite a few times, but I don't know, it has like this weird effect where I can just kind of zen out when I listen to it.
It's just I don't know. I just really like it. And so those are the the second and third episodes of 97 Berserk.
Yeah,
any additional thoughts?
Oh, it's just kind of like we're being introduced to everybody, where everyone's kind of growing together as characters. We have essentially everybody, Guts meeting everybody, because Guts is our point of view character, essentially, who's taking us on this journey of learning who the Band of the Hawk are. And we see the first battle, we get to learn everybody, we kind of get that Griffith is the revered leader, but he, for some reason, has like a soft spot for Guts. Casca's the kind of bitchy second in command. Corcus is a fucking nitwit. Then we have Pippin, Judo, Rick, and who else? Gaston hasn't showed up yet, has he?
No, he
well, he doesn't have.
He has. It's been in the background.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's another guy, everybody, who's just kind of part of the crew.
He's pretty great. He's a sweetheart. If Casca is my waifu, then Gaston is probably my husbando.
Husbando?
Yeah.
That is so bad.
I think that's the word. I don't know. But I just realized we
don't hold Nathan to that, by the way.
No, please do. Hold me to Gaston. But anyway, I just realized I feel like either I completely zoned out or we skipped over a pretty critical moment.
Isn't that in the movies?
No, that's in the movies.
I swear there is a moment like that in the show.
No.
I watched it like 3 times.
What? I swear there is.
It's not in there.
What?
That scene happens later.
What?
Yeah.
Fuck. Never mind then. Cut it out. Cut out all of this.
Cut out the whole episode.
This episode ended when I said Gaston was my husbando. There.
Was there anything else you want to say about it?
No, not anymore.
That's sad.
I just want to say that I think this is definitely the second time I've gone all the way through, and the movies is kind of my preferred way to watch it, but I need to give more love to the original 97 series, and I hope to do that continuously over the next 12, 13 episodes, however much we do of this. I'm so glad we're talking about Berserk. I'm so glad the escape pod's back, and
man.
I'm glad you guys enjoyed it.
Yeah, and this is early on. We haven't really gotten into the meat of the plot yet. We don't really know what the plot is. We're just sort of like, we're just meeting everybody. That's kind of what the episode was just an introduction to the characters. Not all of them, but the majority of your main crew has been established.
The dynamics. Yeah,
we're going to watch them grow over the next 20-something episodes. Grow, change, be sad, be happy, everything.
Be Berserk.
Be Berserk.
Oh, damn it. I have something now. We're closing out.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Should I go? Okay. I just wanted to say, I've already vigorously plugged Suzumu Hirazawa. But I just want to say, the first time I watched this, I thought it was so bizarre that Guts' theme was what it was. Because for one thing, watching the first episode is, completely different kind of character. But when I first heard his theme and when I first realized that it was his theme, I was really confused because I was like, this man is a beast. He beats the shit out of everyone and hates people and is this gruff badass dude who's like this wanderer who doesn't give a fuck about anything. Why is his theme, this really haunting melody being played out? And why does it make me feel so thoughtful and weird? And I think realizing that, accepting, it's just interesting to see how the more you learn about Guts, the more you realize that theme really is perfect for him. So yeah, that was just
that's kind of parallel to the whole show. How when I was going into it, a lot of people go into, this is just going to be some violent, crazy, carnage-filled thing that it's just going to be a ride, and then you're like, oh fuck, character development, themes, analysis of human nature. What the fuck? This is really deep.
It's all about the characters.
It is. Yeah, this would not be a story without the characters.
Yeah, because in regards to Berserk, it's there's Midland and there's politics and there's kingdoms, but you never know where they are in relation to each other. You never really understand it. It's more about the people. The setting's there, but it's more so about Guts and Griffith and Casca and the Band of the Hawk and right now camaraderie and all that. And
yeah,
it doesn't matter. And it's kind of reflective of who they are because they're all mercenaries who will fight for whoever has the coin. So they don't even give a shit. So we don't give a shit. So they don't know. So we don't know. It's just whoever is. It's Wednesday. So who's gonna pay us?
Yeah, and that I will say the fights are cool and the battles are impressive and I like seeing the politics and the corruption and all of that. But I've seen other shows that do that. I've seen really big, impressive fights. But I've never had another experience where I watched through an anime series and then immediately after completing it just felt there has to be more. I have to watch. There needs to be other content because when I finished this anime, I immediately found out about the movies, and I thought they were just some what Naruto movies are, just sort of side stories that are just filler. But I was like, I don't give a fuck. I love these characters so much. I love this world so much. I just want to watch it. And then even when I realized that it was covering the same events, I still watched through them all a day or two after I finished the series because there's so much more to Berserk than meets the eye.
It's so wonderful.
It's great. It's absolutely amazing. And I know I joked around saying in the beginning this was one of the possibly the best epic fantasy in literature, but I legitimately feel that way about this show.
Definitely, as far as ongoing stuff goes, it's definitely up there. It's just, and it's probably the best manga that's ongoing right now. I will safely say that, no question. And I mean, you may, if you're a new audience member, the manga's notorious for hiatuses, and it's kind of like a Song of Ice and Fire scenario where we really, really, really hope Miura finishes the series and does not pass away, because that would be extremely sad. Yeah. I mean, I know he said at one point that the story will always continue, but I feel like there will be at least a definitive end. He just might to a certain arc.
But yeah, thank you to everybody for coming with us. Next time you see us, we'll be watching episodes 4 and 5, which is The Hand of God and A Wind of Swords.
AKA 2 of the most badass titles of anything in existence.
Oh, fuck yeah, those are fantastic. Like,
The Hand of God and what was Wind of Swords? Yeah,
A Wind of Swords.
A Storm of Swords.
Dude, those titles got me pregnant. Like, that's crazy.
So yeah, thanks everybody for joining us. It's going to be a interesting long series. If you're a patron, you could see our patron. I said that weird. If you're a patron, and you can go onto our Patreon, you could actually see the spreadsheet and you could see what we've already recorded, what we're editing, and what we've yet to record. That'll be there for you. We did it with all retrospectives, and if you're also a patron, you could get in on some free stuff. There's also like I do music, so you get, if you pay a certain amount per month, you get free albums and free tunes. You get like BTS stuff. You get like HG downloads of seasons with like behind the scenes stuff. Whenever me or anybody else in the company releases some stuff, like a book or whatever, and if you pay a certain amount, you get that for free as well. If you pay $50, you get an escape pod like shuttle thing, where it's like an escape pod mug, like buttons, a shirt, a table shot that Haley would draw because she's a boss. So I'm plugging it because this show's hard to do. Like it's super time, and a lot of time goes into it, a lot of effort. Like we do all these spreadsheets and research and have to come together, and like Nathan has school and a job, Josiah has a job and his theater stuff, and I just kind of edit videos all day long and then write and make music. And
it is a labor of love, but it is still a labor.
Yes.
So if you guys really enjoy it, we brighten up your day or make you laugh or anything like that, we really appreciate your support and letting us continue to do this for as long as we can, because I mean, this is really entertaining for me, but and I think for all of us. And I'd really love to see it be able to continue and grow and evolve and get better. Not that it's bad, but
we all need to get good.
Yeah, seriously, get good.
I'm shit to your waifu right now. I apologize.
Also, even if you just want to give $1, that's okay, because you still get stuff for that. Like, if for $1, you still get behind the scenes access, and you still get your name in the credits. Like, I don't know how many of you actually stay around for the credits, but every patron's in there. And there's always a stinger, by the way.
Yeah, there's always a stinger, and I love the stingers. So yeah, everyone, just remember, put your grasses on. Nothing will be wrong.
Yeah, man. And
that's gonna be the new.
And next time, we'll tell you more.
Jesus. Can we end it? Like, cut.
Yeah,
we're done.
Cut.
Oh no! They set fire to the end of